Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We back. Live and direct. Live and direct. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back in it. We back in it. Yup, yup. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? We back in this thing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go. You already know the vibes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's poppin', man?
Yo, what up, IT?
You
How you
know what I
doing,
mean?
bro?
What's poppin', bro? Doing great, man. Doing great. How about yourself?
Just chilling, man. Just getting ready for this. Excited, just living
Yeah,
life. You know what I'm
100%.
saying?
100%. 100%. 100%. Well, I mean, welcome to, I guess you could say, episode zero, ground zero on the Mental Arts Dojo, the
Sir.
second season. For those who might be confused as to what the Mental Arts Dojo is coming out from, or the second stage of, is the initial season one of Freestyle Fridays, where we had these one-to-one interactions with people and basically dug a little bit deeper as to what their perspective was in regards to freestyle. So we ended up building off of that concept and really taking it into V2 with the Mental Arts Dojo, hosted by none other than your boy. You know what I mean?
Yo, Mike,
I.the.cool. You
you
know what I
gassing
mean?
me up,
So
bro. You gassing me up,
yeah,
bro.
listen,
And
and that's my job, bro. We all need to be able to build each other. You know what I mean? So either way, if you want to take a brief moment and let the people and the good folks on here know who you are, and also explain a little bit about what the thought process was behind the Mental Arts Dojo, what the thought process was behind this next stage of Freestyle Fridays.
I'm just a Canadian guy who just raps. Just a little bit weird in this game. Just trying to figure things out.
Yep.
Um, Originally, I'm from Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Like, just trying
Mm.
to kind of come through with the bars. Just trying to essentially, you know what I mean? Just
Mm.
try to take it back to the essence, right?
Mm.
My thought process with the Mental Arts Dojo is trying to essentially put the freestyle back in the freestyle. You know what I mean? Come through with the bars, be able to break down these bars and kind of put our own thoughts to good use and, help with these metaphors and essentially just show the thought process of
Mm-hmm.
like the word tracking that kind of takes place, right? And,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
feel like life is a freestyle full circle, has a lot of incredible lyricists. And I feel like it's kind of time for us to kind of come through with the original content and show that,
Mm-hmm.
we kind of do this rap thing a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, I feel that. So when it comes to the aspect, just so I can track it correctly, so ultimately we're going from the interview structure to be able to transition from the interview structure into a more performative structure, where now we're putting artists on display whom actually rap, whom actually freestyle. This has been like a long requested like thing, and people were just blowing the chat up on some like, when are y'all gonna rap? What really, the actual freestyle was the conversation. And every conversation with someone to some degree is a freestyle, right? So people weren't really seeing it from that context. But what you're saying is that we're transitioning from just the focal point of the conversation to what most regard as these freestyles, these free verses and things like that, right? So that's dope. That's really, really dope. So I'm interested to see, what's the structure going to be like moving forward? Because mind you, those in the audience, I.the.cool is going to be taking over this hosting thing. You know what I mean? So definitely get used to his face. Definitely get used to his energy. He's a great dude. So definitely looking forward to that. So when it comes to what's next, what's the focal point there? Like, what's your scope? What's your vision for this?
the next step for me with what I'm kind of trying to do, what we're as like a team trying to do, is to kind of create a community where we're also able to not only break down bars, but be able to cipher as well. Being able to kind of give artists a platform. There's not a lot of pages that do have, the lyrical tyrants that are kind of hovering around, and I feel like this is a good spot to be able to bring people in who do want to showcase their bars, who do want to, who do take a little bit of extra time when they're writing the words to flip it and, put a little bit more attention to detail, creating that community to kind of bring everybody together and just overall be able to just enjoy it, have like a platform, have something that's there, something that people can kind of look forward to who are into that type of stuff. Because I feel like it has been missing for quite some time. And I feel like, now could be a good time to try to bring that, a new addition. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So ultimately just cultivate a space for MCs, for people to come in. Not even only MCs really, but any sort of like vocalist-esque, like orator-esque art where spoken word, poetry, things of that nature. There's multiple ways to be able to slice and dice it, but when you put that in the context, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that we know that have this ability to be able to showcase themselves on that vocalist type level. And so in a way, putting people on display, I think is something that's a great idea, you know what I mean? But without further ado, and without to belabor the point, there was a little situation of yours that dropped, recently, that received a lot of positivity, you know what I mean? And so with that, explain the concept, behind just the overall macro concept of you dropping that freestyle and like, and what your vision was for that. What was your authorial intention for that?
First off, thank you, IT. You gassed me up too much, man. To me, like, the style of it, the whole, like, piece was ground zero, right? And that's kind of where it's like, I'm going to come through with that nominal determination, 0, 0, 0. I'm going to come in with my type of flow. And I feel like the name shadowboxing is how I put my technique, my delivery, my cadence. That's what I would call it if I were to give it a name. Because I feel like I kind of do this little sidestep situation, but at the same time, there's a lot of like hidden, like shadow bars in there and a lot of like little tonal perceptions and streams and kind of. So that was kind of the piece, but I also wanted to try to set it off in a way that's like, take it back to like a classical beat like Jizza RZA, you know what I mean? Be able to kind of do something like that, but also try to deliver like a message, but not be too braggadocio about it, you know what I mean? Because I feel like rap is very much like that, and I'm trying to be as, like just in terms of myself as humble and stuff. I feel like that's kind of cultural teachings and religious teachings that have kind of brought us to that level, try to limit the pride and arrogance. So hip hop's kind of a weird situation with that, it's like you kind of need that to survive. So it's kind of like just balancing that, right? But that's kind of the piece, like come through with that type of flow and showcase it and be able to kind of dissect the different streams of meaning, the different entendres, the hidden layers, and kind of peel that back a little bit to a certain capacity.
Okay, for sure. So starting off at ground zero. Yeah, I rock with that. And I think as the weeks come, of course, we're going to keep things, as tight-knit and as clean and as internal as we possibly can. But to everybody in the crowd, provided you, write poems or you do spoken word or you rap, and you have these self-perceived bars, you know what I mean, then feel free to, reach out. Definitely drop us some sort of notification in the DM and let us know that you'll be interested in hopping up and being able to put your art on display, and then perhaps we can fit you in on one of these slots that we have that are going fast. So with that being said, I would love to get into the content of your verse and start digging into really the nooks and crannies, because I think what's going to make this type of presentation a lot different is a lot of people are just getting used to the idea of like seeing a freestyle and not necessarily having the option to really dig in to say, what is this person saying? I think a lot of us have this very personal experience with music. When we listen to music, we kind of retreat to our small space and then kind of like get what we want to get out of it. But there is definitely room for a communal ask straight from the person's mouth. What did you mean? How many artists are saying like, hey, my lyrics sound genius, but they're wrong. That was annotated, but that was wrong. Or here, right. So here at, Life is a Freestyle, we wanted to highlight the aspects of we're bringing the artists on, we showcase their work, and then after we showcase their work, we have them break down their circumstance line by line and build on that. You know, so I'm definitely super excited to get that started. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So if you don't mind, real quick, I'm not sure if you have it memorized. I'm not sure if you have it written down or whatever the case is. But if you could just run through the whole thing real quick on some just acapella kind of situation, and
Right.
then we can get the full breadth of like what we're getting into, and then let's go back and line by line and let's bust it down.
100%. I did make a few notes on the side just so I don't forget them, but I usually do typically memorize all the bars. I feel like it helps the delivery. And also, yo,
Sure.
shouts out to Genius, by the way. We're not
No, 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 no. This is like,
yeah,
no,
big
man.
facts.
Come on
I know.
now, man.
I'm
Like,
just,
without,
just
without,
clarifying.
without Genius, a
But
lot of things wouldn't exist.
yeah, big facts.
I
But
was
yeah,
on rapgenius.com.
yeah,
You
bro.
know,
Them
listen,
forums, you know, them forums.
yeah, bro. Come on
Straight
now,
up.
for sure, for
But
sure.
yeah, the bars would be it was something like the mind is like a muscle, clockwork puzzle, smile on my face, sound surrender muzzle. These are not bars, you staring down a barrel. These are not flawed, you staring down a pharaoh. Truly from Cairo, Sanskrit killer, pouring Arab Spring water out the Brita. Check the flag, rain checks when they check the craft. The rain checks when I check my raft. Missing the sea. When I flow, I'm on a mission to be. Reminiscing of he, the game's missing a B. Oh, why defeat Raps Elite Four in the champion, of course, and I fly. Warner Post is on my side, top 5. Dead or alive, your favorite rappers alive. The greatest can never die. They operate a ride, a few filled with pride. I, the whole world's gone blind. Double O, Contra flow, it's a go. Hikaru no, playing shogi, style stretch like a yogi. They couldn't hold me like I'm Froby, patiently waiting for Yomi. It's kind of the piece, you know? So
Yeah,
it's kind
yeah.
of the
Okay,
piece, you know what
yo.
I'm
Hey,
saying?
everyone in the chat drop fire emojis right now. Y'all playing, man. Everyone drop fire emojis in the chat. Let's go. It is what it is, all right?
Yes,
This life
sir.
is a freestyle. We're not playing, man.
Yes,
So,
sir.
okay, let's go. So, basically going back into all the way at the top, because there's a lot of different things going on there that are very specific, that are very subtle, that I don't think a lot of people are catching. And there's layers in there, bro. So I would love to hear from the top. Let's start from the first line and then start
Right.
going down the process.
So it starts off, it's like the mind is like a muscle. So right off the bat, it's like a muscle, two kind of layers, right? Muscle is in the muscle fish, like, you know, the shellfish or whatever, and
Mm,
muscle is in just the muscle, right? So
mm-hmm,
if you take back the first layer, the fish layer, within muscles you can find pearls. Mine is kind of like that. You got to crack open that shell and
mm-hmm,
get to the pearls, you know, get to the deeper layer, right? From the other
mm-hmm,
muscle aspect is in like the arm muscle or whatever muscle in your body. It's from an aspect of like, in order to get your muscles more defined, you got to work it out. Your mind is kind of like that. You have to work on it. You have to focus. You got to define it and put in the work. It's not going to be an easy thing, you know? And I know
mm-hmm.
you know about putting in the work. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of, that's kind of what that
Right,
is, right? The mind
right.
is like a muscle, clockwork puzzle. So the clockwork piece, that's like a subtle off thing. I don't think the original intention behind it, it's not easy to tell with the track, with the verse. The reason
Mm,
being is originally I wrote this verse to a Sly Watts IT beat. And
mm,
you know me,
mm-hmm.
Sly Watts, I always think Sly Cooper, straight up. Shout out to him, you know? So the
Oh,
Sly Cooper too.
clockwork slide to
Yes, sir. You
see,
come on,
that's
bro, you know.
wild.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
So
that's
that's
wild. I know,
clockwork
I know,
parts, bro,
I
you
know,
know.
I know. Stupid Cos IT smiling right now. Keep it going.
You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy.
But also clockwork time, clockwork puzzle. It takes time to put together a piece of time, to put together the
Mm,
previous line. It's not going to be easy to get to what you want to do. You got to put the time in and focus to be able to solve the piece, you know? Clockwork
mm,
puzzle. Smile on my face, silencer in the muzzle. So this is a quick 2-to-2 comparison. Smile,
mm,
face, silencer, muzzle. Piece
mm-hmm,
of silencer is supposed to create the word of concealment. Used to conceal
mm-hmm,
the sound, conceal a piece. A lot of people are going through some stuff and they carry a smile on their face. They try to make people laugh to kind of, you know what I'm saying? And like Tears of a
mm,
Sad Clown, you know how that goes, Tears of a Clown,
mm. So
right?
much like the smile, people use that to silence their true feelings, like the silencer on a gun muzzles the shot.
Right?
Mm,
Exactly.
mm-hmm,
And then the
mm-hmm,
muzzle
mm-hmm.
piece, you want to look at the muzzle piece is also a double. The muzzle is in the muzzle for a gun, but a muzzle is in the muzzle for a dog, right? So it's
Mm,
two
mm-hmm,
aspects to that
mm-hmm,
piece, right? And just
mm-hmm,
keep
mm-hmm,
that in the different layer, right? Silencer in the
mm-hmm,
muzzle. These are not bars. You're staring down a barrel. That's a quick roll over the word bar, barrel. You're in the kind of a tight spot. It's not just here to flex thing. It's kind of giving you, you know what I'm saying, giving you a little bit more. The next
mm-hmm,
piece
mm-hmm,
is These are not flawed. You're staring down a pharaoh. Pharaoh, but also pharaoh. This is back to the muzzle piece, right? But also, like, the thing with that bar is I could have said these are not flaws and rhymed it with bars, but I was like, no, let me just tweak it a little bit just to show, like, we could have went a little bit further. You know what I'm saying? Staring down a pharaoh. Now, the next piece ties into that pharaoh line, and it's like, truly from Cairo. I don't know if you know, but in hip-hop, I'm sure you know, a lot of people claiming, like, the Egypt swag, the Egypt drip is everywhere in hip-hop, right? And for me, it's like, I'm actually from Cairo. So it's like kind of taking it back to the roots, kind of paying homage to that, kind of putting that piece in, right? Yeah, truly from Cairo, sand, comma, script, killer, right? Sand, Cairo, script with the pen, paper, but also Sanskrit. A lot of people look at me and think I'm brown, man. So I'm kind of just paying that homage back in, you know?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So so Sanskrit as in the text, and then Sanskrit as in Cairo is obviously a desert, like desert predominant land. So with that, it's like you're seeing, or you're reading the annotations of basically like nature and what's going on.
Basically, you know, like, and also the thing too is like, yo, when I was a kid, like growing up here, it's like a lot of people used to, you know, use derogatory terms involving the word sand, and it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of playing off that too in a way that's like, yo, I'm gonna take that and flip it back to you in a way that's a bit cooler. You know what I'm saying? Kind of give it back and like own it type thing, right? Yeah, so it's like Sanskrit killer, pouring Arab Spring water out the Brita. Right, that's another reference to Cairo and Egypt, the Arab Spring revolutions. But also spring water, Brita's the filter. You're kind of like a human being. Your thoughts will always be filtered out type situation. But it's like using instances like that to kind of fuel your mindset, to kind of show how you're thinking, trying to be progressive, trying to be for the people, trying to essentially, you know what I'm saying, trying to just be in that zone, you know what I mean? Just paying back homage to the roots, right? Yeah, out the Brita, check the flag. Rain check when they check the craft. The rain checks when I check my raft.
Okay, there's a couple pieces in there, you know what I mean? Run that back.
Yeah, so it's like check the flag, you know? Again, just continuing the metaphor or the scheme, right? Rain check when they check the craft. A lot of rappers aren't really about the craft, and I feel like it's not really a subtle diss, it's more like trying to inspire people to fix the nicks and knacks, you know what I mean? And that's with any genre itself, you know what I mean? Like whatever type of rap music you're doing, there's people who you can look at and you're like, yo, that's a master of his craft, or he's striving to be a master, versus it's just like they might not care as much, right? Which is no problem. I mean, it is what it is to whoever, but it's like just making an observation, right? But at the same time, it's a quick comparison, but also a quick like, what's the word for it? Man, oh man, Nikki G and IT gonna kill me for not remembering this word. What's that? When you're using multiple syllables right after each other.
When you're using multiple. Let's see.
I forgot the name, bro. Straight up.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's push through it. It's all goody.
Alliteration. There we go. Yeah. That's alliteration.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So rain check when they check the craft. The rain checks when I check my raft. So you could read the word rain as in rain, but also REIGN, right? And the word raft is supposed to be symbolic for the flow, for the style, like the vehicle that's carrying this type of thing, right? So that's kind of what that is. But also it's the idea of introducing a type of checklist system. Like you're actually breaking it down. Like if you're about to take a boat out or take something out, you're going to make sure that everything's working. You know what I mean? You're not just going to hop on. It's a life situation. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what that is.
Yes, to still because point as well is the checkered flag, which is like we keeping it pushing, like marathon kind of thing. And then there's also a checkered flag. It's also a notation for a race being concluded, or you're on that last lap where people usually push harder. So there's that component of it. There's also the component of, I mean, usually checkered flags represent just a race in general taking place, but do we think about the race as being a competitive aspect, or do we think about the competitive aspect of the human race and how we compete with each other through? So there's a couple pieces there, which is kind of interesting in terms of like hermeneutics that I saw within that as well. And then also there's the rain check. When someone takes a rain check, it's like, I'm going to pause from this circumstance and we're going to come back to this circumstance at a later date to be able to, so, you know, we got a couple, you know, we got a couple layers, you know what I mean? So yeah, no, I didn't mean to cut you off. Please proceed.
Nah. It's all good. I mean, you know, you can't give every jewel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some
100%.
things they got to catch, you know?
100%.
So it's like, yeah, rain check when they check the flag, missing a C. That ties back into the craft and raft, right? Missing a C. But also missing a C, like, you know, fishermen, they always miss the C. They're made for this. They long for it. But also missing a seat, as in you're standing up, you're taking a stand for something, right? So that's kind of that piece. Peel back the layers, right? Missing a C. When I flow, I'm on a mission to be. Now that's a reference to the coolest. I'm on a mission to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's a reference to the name too, I.the.cool, right? So it's like a shout out.
That was slick. I didn't catch that one. That was slick.
It's paying homage, you know what I mean, to my inspirations, things that have shaped me to be who I am, right?
Sure.
I'm on a mission to be, reminiscent of he. It's tying in back to the same thing, but also reminiscent of heat. Come with that fire, come with that flame, right? Kind of coming in with that piece, right? The game's missing a B. So it's like, that's also a couple layers to that. Missing a bee is in like pollinating, like bees that they give life to the earth. You know what I'm saying? They do all that type of stuff. And I feel like in hip hop, there's not a lot of like things that are made to kind of help promote good things. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things that have even shaped me. It's like I got it from music and from rap. You know what I mean? And it's kind of plays off again to that cool piece, you know? So it's just like a few like little subtle shout outs and stuff to people, you know?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, and also missing a beat, like as in like, you know, certain beats just hit you differently. You know what I mean? They hit you in that way that's like, they make you want to write a quick 16 or whatever, them RZA beats, them, you know what it is, right?
Right, of course.
Yeah, so that's what it is, missing a beat. But also, this ties into the next flow, O-Y. So missing a B, O-Y, is boy. Tie that into game boy. So then I'm about to go in on some other type of scheme now, you know, setting up the next flow. But also, my bad, I keep saying also, it's like, the other thing too is my legal name starts with the O. So it's as if I'm doing a third person, I'm asking myself, oh, why? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like, you know, you might, who else? Like, I don't know, people call themselves whatever, but that's kind of like another play to it. You know what I mean? And that's another play with the name Infinite, which is also just my initials, kind of, you know? So, yeah, a Y defeat Raps Elite. So, okay, so this kind of schemes off the Game Boy piece now, right? Defeat Raps Elite 4 and the champion, of course. Then I'm fly. Then I fly. So it's like, I don't know, Greg.
Raps Elite 4. Okay, so you got some Pokemon bars in there.
Yes,
okay,
sir. You know, I know you played the OGs.
Yeah, come on, man.
So,
come on, bro. I could win. You know what I mean? I could, bro. You know, y'all don't know me, bro.
Bro, that's crazy. I got the
y'all don't know me, bro. we got within reach. You know what I'm saying?
Big facts, bro. Big facts.
Crazy let's go.
So that's the thing. So somebody, you know, who hasn't played Pokemon, whenever you start the game, you're a new guy to a new town, and you have a rival who has every advantage on you. And once you beat, their goal is to beat the Elite Four and become the champion. Once you beat them, they tell you right away, yo, you would be the champion, but somebody just beat us, you got to face them. So the whole point is setting up the scheme of 5 people, Elite Four and the champion, right? And that ties into the next piece, which is, and the champion, of course, then I fly. Wanted posters on my side, top 5, dead or alive. So it's taking that scheme of a top 5 list, so top 5 dead or alive, turning it into a wanted poster, into like a newcomer of rap. You're trying to hit list everybody. You're trying to be better than everybody type of situation, right? On some like competitive, like, this is just my grind. I'm trying to perfect what I do, right? So it's kind of like, yeah. So on my side, top 5, dead or alive. Your favorite rapper's a lie. Your favorite rappers will lie. Your favorite rappers a lie. The greatest could never die. It's kind of like simple, like giving praise to the Most High. You know what I mean? It's kind of the praise, right?
Right.
Yeah. Greatest rappers alive. Greatest can never die. They operate a ride, a fuel filled with pride. The ride is the vehicle, the flow. A fuel filled with pride. A fuel filled with pride. Right? It's what's keeping the ride going. It's just that pride and arrogance piece, right? And it's not really like poking fun at things, just kind of like making an observation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I and I, the whole world's gone blind. So that's a shout out to Rastafari, I and I, me
Yeah,
and you, like
yeah.
we all are, right? And it's also a flip on I and I for an eye. It's kind of like a flip on that. Some people might be looking at it one way or the other way, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
also in terms like everybody is kind of like on something else right now. You know what I mean? Like everybody's thinking a certain way. Like you know how it is. We really got to break that one down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%,
It's kind of
100%. Yeah, it's just societal, points of view, POVs, and things of that nature. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, I think the idiom is, an eye for an eye, or an eye for an eye, the world blind, right? So yeah, you're playing off of that.
exactly right. And it's basically 100% right. And then take it back to double O, contra flow. It's a go. Double O just showing up the name, contra just hitting a few like nice like flow schemes, right? Contra
Mm.
flow, double O contra flow. It's a go. Hikaru no. That's a shout out to the manga Hikaru no Go. It's about a
Mm,
guy named
mm,
Hikaru who
mm,
plays the Chinese game of Go. But
mm,
it's a
mm-hmm,
go is also like mission is a go. Like it's like some like the military, like black ops, spec ops type of thing they
mm-hmm,
say, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And that's why Hikaru would know because he does that. But the name is,
mm.
you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like,
Okay,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Kind
Now
of
we
like ties
cooking.
in a few ways. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, hell
Uh,
yeah.
Hikaru no playing shogi. So now it's you're doing a switch from one game from China to Japan, and it's like a flip on but in Japanese that I've been saying kind of. Chess but in
Mm-hmm.
Japanese. You know what I'm saying? Playing
Yeah, yeah,
shogi. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's like style stretch like a yogi. Simple style stretch. They stretch styles
Mm-hmm.
yogi.
Yeah, yeah,
Like a yogi.
100%.
They couldn't hold me like I'm Froby. So that piece, like everybody raps about Kobe. Everybody raps about Kobe. So I was like trying to do it too, but hit him with a different angle on it. Show like, yo, you could give a shout out to
Kobe with
Kobe.
the fro
That's
beat.
what it
Okay,
is.
okay,
Just
okay,
show him like
okay.
another like angle to it. You know what I mean? Patiently
Mm-hmm.
waiting for Yomi. Yomi just means my day in Arabic. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
using like the bilingual piece. I know you know about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah, well,
You know what I'm
100%, man,
saying? So
100%. Yeah,
just
any
sprinkle it
chance
in.
you have, have to use any, bilingual essence. I mean, you're really like bridging these, and it's the same thing with cultural cues. As we both well know, is that once you bring in the cultural cue, you're gonna bring in everyone who's like, oh, I've seen that anime, I've read that manga, or like you're gonna bring people in and be like, oh, I know what that word means because that's an Arabic word in my family's, X, Y, and Z. And so in a way, like incorporating all those different aspects, just makes the whole scope and the net that you're casting much wider. So I think those things are essential.
100%. Like delving in, like the whole thing for me now is like I'm trying to more like reach in terms of my experiences, like pull from every little thing that I enjoy doing and kind of bring it, resurface it. You know what I mean? Like being from Egypt, like even back home, whenever we used to go to visit the TV, they're only playing animes. They're not playing no regular
Mm,
cartoons, right?
mm,
Coming here, like as kids, we used to go to the library and pick up manga books and get like a lot 30 books. Me and my brother, and my sister, we'd have 90 books. Like we just be reading through manga
mm,
like crazy. Anything doesn't matter what it
mm.
is. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
kind of like inspired. It's ingrained, and I feel like the Japanese popular culture and just their whole culture, I feel like is really dope, and I feel like it's something that's like just ingrained in me from like a youngin. So it's kind
Hmm.
of just showing love back to that and kind of being able to like kind of give that its respect and also play on what I already know instead of trying to jump in other people's worlds. Just use what you kind of got. So
Hmm.
it's kind
Hmm.
of that piece, right?
Yeah, that's hard, bro. That's hard. Yeah, so
Super nerdy though. Shout out to
yeah.
the nerds,
Well, I mean, like at the end of the day, I mean, everyone has their own experience. You know what I mean? There's a lot of artists that go through their whole verse and they go through their whole kind of like, I guess, expression of their experience. And a lot of people's experience is like, a lot of people haven't had maybe the nerd experience or maybe aren't into certain things, but everyone's into different things. So because of that, you'll find yourself in a place where like, you'll have people talk about maybe more like street related things. And it's like not a lot of people can relate, but at the same time, the people who can relate feel it deeper. And the people who can't relate, if it's presented in a certain way, they rock with it, right? The same way as like, I don't know how many people read the mangas and like the actual, like understand each and every certain little bit of contextual, incantation that you're doing and broke down the triple entendres that were in there for people who liked the freestyle. I think a lot of people just liked it. And sometimes it's the beautiful part about this process is that you don't necessarily have to know 100% why something hits you in this profound way for it to like sit with you. You know what I mean? So with that, I mean, I would love to kind of get your perspective as to what you envision for the future for Mental Arts Dojo, prominently named and crowned, by Tay-IT, who's, we already know what Tay-IT is about.
Still because IT too,
Still because IT as well. These guys are beasts in their own regard. So with that, what is your vision for the future? What would you like to see this grow into for the coming weeks as things begin to build and expand?
I think the coolest part about this is that there's like everybody has a different style. Everybody's kind of from a different place. Everybody has their own approach, right? So it's very much kind of like a dojo where you might learn different styles. Like if you watch Kung Fu movies, you got all types of different styles and they kind of face off. And it's like every style could be very elite. You know what I mean? There's no style that's like a whack style. At least I don't think there is. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking in terms of martial arts. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Everybody can kind of bring their own thing to the table, their own thoughts, their own mind. And it's like your own memory card. You know what I mean? Your experiences kind of shapeshift everything, right? And it's like me being from where I'm from, I might say a slang or I might have even said something in this rap that certain people from my city are going to understand versus somebody else might not get the slang, right? And I'm sure it's going to be everybody, right? So it's kind of just like a collective piece, like bringing everybody together and everybody breaking things down and kind of learning, kind of using it as like a training ground, like kind of being able to kind of take value from this, give value, but also steel sharpens steel, like, I might be breaking down, next week is supposed to be Sly Watts at T. I might be breaking his verse down and pick things up from there and whatnot, And, you know what I'm saying? We got some things too, So that's kind of, it's kind of what that is, So it's kind of what I'm
for sure. For sure. Well, that's dope. Well, I appreciate you, taking the time to break down this verse. I'm excited to see what's to come. And to people who are just dropping in, this is basically ground zero foundation introduction to what's going to be our version 2 series of the Freestyle Friday series called the Mental Arts Dojo, where you, those in the crowd, might have an opportunity to be able to display your craft, whether it's rapping, whether it's spoken word, whether it's poetics, to be able to not only put your art on display, but at the same time be able to break down the components of what went into that piece and speak a little bit more on your process. And that's where we wanted to highlight the space for, is to be able to give back to the community in that way and set up something that was unique in that way. Host. So with that being said, that's all I got. Do we want to add anything as a contingency?
I mean, I would just say, if you've been asking to rap, so if you guys been asking to rap, pull through. You know what I mean? Like, let's make something out of this. Let's make it a fun situation, fun type of cipher. You know what I'm saying? Let's go with it. We're ready. We're ready to lock in. People are ready to drop bars, and I feel like that's something, a different component to the metaphor that we can bring. So I feel like you guys should be pumped up. Like, we got a lot of crazy content that you guys haven't seen yet. Crazy original freestyles, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's about to be dope, and we're looking forward to hearing from you guys too. I know you guys rap, so it's a platform.
Yeah, 100%. We're here to hear from everybody that can supply that heat. So with that being said, I think this was a great torch pass. I think this is a great introductory episode. I'm looking into that. Oh, what was that intro track? Man, you want to tell them what the intro track was, bro?
Gotta tell you, T hit me with the plug.
Yeah, I mean, what was that intro track?
It's called Hidden Machine 5. Hidden Machine 5.
Hidden Machine 5. So yeah, ultimately, everybody can go and check out I.the.cool's content and what he's up to, and how active he's been. And yeah, from that, I guess from that perspective, there's a lot more to come. So I guess we'll catch you on the flip side, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, IT.
You know what I'm saying? Peace and much love, and everybody out there, stay safe. We'll catch you 100%. Next week. Mental Arts Dojo 01.
100%. We come with the heat.
Let's run it. All right.
Peace.